America, land of the free, home of the brave, and birthplace of a pastime that's as loud as it is fast, drag racing. Whether you're a car enthusiast or someone who thinks horsepower refers to farm animals, there's no denying the allure of a good old quarter-mile showdown. It's a culture that's been revving engines and breaking egos for decades, and today, we're diving into the nitro-fueled world of drag racing. Buckle up because this ride's going to be anything but smooth. It all started back in the 1940s and 50s, a time when America's youth was riding the high of post-war prosperity. Cheap cars, cheap gas, and wide-open roads were the perfect cocktail for rebellion on wheels. Southern California became ground zero for what would later be known as drag racing. Picture it, a bunch of leather-jacketed teens pulling up to deserted roads, engines roaring, and egos on the line. These weren't just cars. They were extensions of their drivers, customized, souped up, and ready to leave the competition in a cloud of dust. Of course, when you're racing on streets, things can get, let's say, a little out of hand. Cops didn't exactly share the enthusiasm for late-night tire screeching and speed runs. As the police cracked down, enthusiasts needed a safer and more legal alternative. Enter the professional drag strip. In 1951, the Santa Ana Drags became the first commercial drag strip in the U.S., giving racers a sanctioned spot to show off their skills. Suddenly, drag racing wasn't just about speed. It was about strategy, engineering, and, let's be honest, bragging rights. But let's not forget the stars of the show, the cars. The drag racing world wouldn't be what it is today without the iconic machines that tore up the asphalt. The 1960s brought us the rise of muscle cars, machines like the Ford Mustang, Chevrolet Camaro, and Dodge Charger. These beasts weren't just built for speed, they were designed to dominate. And let's be real, who wouldn't want to flex a HEMI engine at a stoplight? These cars weren't just vehicles, they were rolling statements, declarations of power and rebellion. Fast forward to today, and drag racing is as much a cultural phenomenon as it is a sport. Sure, you've got the pros, people like John Force and Don Garlits, legends who turned drag racing into a high-octane spectacle. Tracks like the Indianapolis Raceway Park and Pomona Raceway have become meccas for racing fans. But drag racing isn't just for the big leagues. It's alive and well in underground scenes, from suburban neighborhoods to desolate desert roads. And let's not ignore the fact that thanks to movies like The Fast and the Furious, everyone thinks they're Dominic Toretto. Spoiler alert, you're not. Speaking of culture, let's talk about the people. Drag racing isn't just about the drivers, it's about the community. It's the guy who spends his weekends elbow deep in grease trying to shave a tenth of a second off his time. It's the kid dreaming of the day they can build their own car. It's the families that come together on race day, sharing beers and barbecue while cheering for their favorites. It's competitive, sure, but it's also deeply communal. That's the paradox of drag racing. It's a battle, but it's one fought among friends. Now, let's not pretend everything about drag racing is perfect. For one, there's the environmental cost. These gas-guzzling monsters aren't exactly setting the gold standard for eco-friendliness. And then there's the issue of accessibility. Building a competitive drag car isn't cheap, and for many, it's a hobby that remains frustratingly out of reach. But innovation is changing the game. Electric cars are making their way onto the drag strip, and before you roll your eyes, know this, they're fast. Like, really fast. Tesla's Model S Plaid can smoke some of the loudest V8s out there. It's a new era, and while some purists might grumble, there's no denying the appeal of speed without the guilt. But let's take a pit stop and appreciate the variety within the world of drag racing. For the uninitiated, drag racing isn't limited to just muscle cars or Teslas. It's a world that encompasses everything from motorcycles to trucks. Yes, trucks. Who would have thought that your grandpa's F-150 could find a second life as a quarter-mile beast? And then there are the dragsters, purpose-built machines with engines so powerful, they sound like they're tearing the fabric of reality. These vehicles aren't just fast. They're engineered miracles, designed to push the limits of physics and human endurance. It's not just about going straight. It's about going as straight and as fast as possible while your body feels like it's being flattened by G-forces. And speaking of high stakes, let's address the adrenaline rush. If you think watching a drag race is thrilling, imagine being behind the wheel. The countdown lights, the deafening roar of the engine, the split-second decisions. It's a sensory overload that leaves even the most seasoned drivers shaking with adrenaline. It's not just a race. It's a battle between man, machine, and time itself. For many racers, it's less about beating the opponent and more about conquering their own limits. Every race is a chance to be better, faster, and more fearless than ever before. At this point, you're probably thinking, okay, but why should I care? Because drag racing is more than just cars and speed. It's a story about pushing limits, about chasing dreams, and the thrill of victory. It's about the ingenuity and grit it takes to turn a hunk of metal into a 300 miles per hour rocket. And let's be honest, it's about flexing on everyone who doubted you. Who doesn't love that? If you've made it this far, here's your call to action. Dive deeper. Watch a race, visit a track, or if you're feeling really adventurous, start tinkering with your car. But before you turn into a driveway drag racer, hit that like button, subscribe, and let us know in the comments what your dream drag car would be. Are you team muscle, modern, or electric? Let's settle the debate. As we wrap up, let's take a moment to appreciate the spectacle of drag racing. It's raw, it's real, and it's unapologetically American. Whether you're a die-hard fan or just someone who stumbled on this video while procrastinating, there's something undeniably magnetic about the roar of engines and the blur of speed. Drag racing isn't just a sport. It's a culture, a way of life, and, for many, a passion that burns as brightly as a nitrous flame. So, next time you hear an engine revving at a stoplight, don't roll your eyes. You might just be witnessing the start of something legendary. Until next time, keep your foot on the gas and your eyes on the road. And remember, in drag racing, as in life, it's not just about how fast you go. It's about how much you're willing to risk to win.